Hey, good Monday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tuesday's Market Intel Brief here at Top Gun Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and welcome aboard the new year. We had a great day yesterday. I got to fly twice in the L39. Had a great couple flights, landed. We did a weekly options brief. We did solo Amazon. Had a great day yesterday covering why the market pulled back and what opportunities it presented. And then we had a good primary live trade brief this morning. Let's get strategic. Put our radar out around the world and see what's going on. Yesterday, obviously, was the anniversary of the death of one of the worst terrorists on the face of the planet that the President of the United States took out of the gene pool last year, General Soleimani, who was the head of the IRGC Quds Force, a terrorist organization, and who was personally responsible for killing 608 United States Marines and soldiers. And this guy was just allowed to kind of exist, which is just absolutely horrific. Why am I bringing this up? Because on the one-year anniversary, it got pretty ugly. 3 weeks ago, the USS Georgia, one of our submarines, went through the Strait of Hormuz, surfaced, which we don't do, right? We keep our submarine movements top secret. We sent one right through in broad daylight on the surface to send a message. Israel sent one about a week and a half ago. Also, I guess, to send a message like, hey, man, on this anniversary, don't get any ideas. The Secretary of Defense ordered the USS Nimitz carrier battle group to stay in the Middle East to kind of counter that threat. So that was kind of hanging out there. What did we get? Well, the worst that we got, which is really bad if you're on this ship, but Iran seized a tanker. Remember they did this a couple years ago? They went through this kind of tanker tantrum, seizing tankers and demanding ransom or blowing up. Actually, they attacked several tankers over in Saudi Arabia. Remember all this stuff, folks? They shot down a United States drone. This got ugly. This was, I'm bringing this up because we have to talk about it, because even though we're not talking about it, the only thing going on in this country clearly is the Georgia runoffs and what's going to happen in Washington tomorrow, and the media isn't covering this stuff. This is why you're at Top Gun Options, is because I care what happens around the world, right? The market only cares when it cares. You wake up tomorrow to some sort of shooting in the Middle East, oil goes through the roof, the VIX goes through the roof, and the market implodes. If you don't know about it, you're going to get hammered. We do. We brief this stuff. This is why we hedge. This is how we trade here at Top Gun Options. SOT, strategic, operational, and then we get tactical and talk about our trades. So here we go. South Korean tanker seized by Iran demands that they unfreeze these assets while they hold the crew. So good stuff. Good country, Iran, right? And it'll be very funny to see how Obama Part 3, Joe Biden does in office. We all know that Obama flew pallets of cash in unmarked airplanes in the middle of the night to the mullahs, right? And I love when folks say, well, it was their money, he was giving it back. That's what you do. You give money, quote, back to a country that kills your soldiers and Marines. That's what you do. I love when people say that to me, like it was their money, Obama gave it back. You know what we should have done with that money? We should have divided it up and given it to these 608 soldiers and Marines, wives, husbands, parents, kids. But we didn't. We gave it back to them so they could kill more of us. Going to be very interesting 4 years, folks, with Joe Biden and his Middle Eastern foreign policy, the apology tour, the John Kerry type of fly around the world, one world, can't we all get along type of thing. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'm talking about this, folks, because we haven't seen a lot of this, right? Love or hate Donald Trump, at least under Trump, they knew if you did something like this, there were going to be repercussions. Under Joe Biden, don't know, but the markets will react to stuff like this and that's a good segue to who? China. Under Donald Trump, we had trade wars, we had volatility, we had the market imploding, we had the market exploding. Hey, we have a trade deal. No, we don't. It was fun trading the trade war under Donald Trump. What happens under Joe Biden? Well, guess what? We talked about today in our live trade brief. We talked about what? And I'm shaking it as I say this. We just got long-term bullish on China out to Jan of 2023 with a synthetic collar. What? You heard me, folks. As an American, it makes my bones shake to be bullish on our enemy. As Gordon Gekko, that's exactly what I want to do, folks. So again, I'm kind of bipolar at Top Gun Options. I'll tell you how I feel as an American. I think it's awful. China is a mortal enemy. And it's pretty funny. Once you realize that China has a lot of dirt on people in Washington, now you know why they just kind of play the Russia, Russia, Russia card. It's because they're sleeping with spies. Eric Swalwell, congressman, who's still on the Intelligence Committee. And, China's not a threat. Okay. China's not a threat. Why don't you ask or try and figure out where Jack Ma is? The Alibaba co-founder about 2 months ago criticized Chinese regulators for stifling innovation in the financial industry. Where is he? He's kept a low profile. It might be 6 feet under at low. So again, as an American, this is insane. This guy is a billionaire in China, and I'm going to tell you, there ain't no billionaires in China. Well, this guy is, Wiz. You're not a billionaire in China. Xi Jinping is. Jack Ma could go from being a billionaire in China to wearing bracelets and a pauper in a cell in a matter of hours. So again, as an American, I think that's a disgrace. What they did in Hong Kong to the democracy protesters, and Trump just kind of shrugged and let that happen. As an American, I think it's awful. As a trader, as an investor, you got to be bullish on a country that does whatever the hell it wants to do, and that has a PBOC, a People's Bank of China, that whenever the market sneezes, they run in and inject a kabillion yuan into the market and prop it up. So again, not the most American commit criteria to be bullish on something, but this morning in the primary live trade brief, we got bullish on our mortal enemy. And that's what I'm going to teach you here at Top Gun Options. You might feel one way, but if you want to make money, you might have to think another way. Beijing, this was in the Wall Street Journal this morning, Beijing's bid for financial supremacy. China plans to displace the U.S. as investors' top target, and global crises has sped up its effort. I think China will be the number one world's economic superpower and surpass the United States, if it hasn't already, this year or next. Again, that's why I'm bullish on it, but they are a mortal enemy. Now let's talk Turkey domestically. DC Guard activated as Trump backers are expected to protest the nation's capital. Call me crazy. I don't think they're going to burn, loot, murder, tear down statues or anything like that. The last time these Trump protesters go in D.C., everybody picks up the trash. It's peaceful and everything like that. So this is kind of it's and obviously the number one reason why the market went freak mode yesterday is because the polls are tight in Georgia and the Democrats might win. Democrats win in Georgia. They own the Senate because Kamala can break a tie, and there goes everything. Folks, as an investor, you should be horrified. First of all, as an American, you should be horrified. Your taxes are going to go up. But I'm not even going to start ranting. As an investor, you should be horrified. Folks, they want to tax, you ready for this? Unrealized gains. You heard me. Let's say, so here's one of my personal accounts. So today I bought on the dip. Look at this. So this portfolio, there's 2 accounts in here. This one is empty. See right there, this one is my portfolio margining account. This account has about $1.2 million in long stock, Amazon and Microsoft. Okay, Amazon, I nibbled yesterday because the market believes that the Democrats might win, and it went freak mode. Now let's get back to this. These are down. I'm down 17, 18 grand year to date in the first 5 days of the year. But here's what I want to get at. Let's say I was up 17 grand. The Democrats would say, we're taxing you on that 18 grand you're up. Wait, what are you talking about? I didn't close these. It's just up. No, well, they're going to tax me, on unrealized gains. It's funny because it's not impossible to tax anything. You ask all these limousine liberals, Jamie Dimon, the DJ CEO of Goldman Sachs, all these folks are like, wait, that's not even physically it is. They'll figure out a way. You buy your home for $1 million, and let's say they appraise it at $2 million. They're going to tax you on that extra million that you're, quote, up. If that doesn't shock you, if that doesn't make you go, how is that physically possible? You haven't been paying attention. So that's why the market cared yesterday. The market cared like, holy crap, if the Democrats win in Georgia, the devil went down to Georgia, they win, Wall Street's in trouble. Middle America's in trouble, but I'll leave that to a different rant. Hopefully nothing happens tomorrow. Hopefully it's an exercise. It's kabuki theater, folks. The senators, Republican senators in the Senate, and the 140 congressmen in the House, and they're going to. It's whatever. It's time. As it's speaking market-wise, we got to move on here, man. Let's get back to business and get airborne and try somehow to unite this country. We are fractured, man, and I'm a student of history, folks. A great book that I read probably 2 months ago, Every Drop of Blood, it's called, about Lincoln's second inaugural and the events leading up to it. And man, there is some nutty stuff going on. So I can't wait for this to be behind us. I mean, I'm also trying to get filled on a bearish volatility trade. So over here, or I did in our training account, this is paper trading account. Remember, in training, we use paper trading. We go to the simulator, and I'm actually selling 300 of next Friday's 19 and a half. We closed today in a primary live trade brief. These VIX calls, we got long VIX calls last Tuesday in the primary live trade brief, just for this very reason, and they made over like $6,000. So we talked about closing those today and adding a bear call spread. Getting bearish on volatility. Remember, when volatility is cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, you sell it. So now it's time to sell volatility. I think I'm trying to get filled. I actually am going more aggressive in my personal account. This is my personal account. I'm doing the 18 and a half, 19 bear call spread out to next Friday. I'll take that one, man. All right. So let's talk, what else? MGM. We talked about this yesterday in Solo Amazon. The Death Star kind of took a little bit of a wound, right? I call Solo Amazon trading the Death Star. Well, it looks like Amazon, JP Morgan, and Berkshire Hathaway, remember like 2 years ago, they came out and announced that we're going to fix healthcare and we're the brilliant people in the room. Well, they disbanded. It was called Haven. Haven yesterday is going away in February. They kind of realized that, holy crap, man, this is a big monster, and even we can't get our arms around it. So, Jamie Dimon kind of led it, and Warren and Jeff kind of were wingmen, but still, this is a little kind of raised my eyebrow at this, that Amazon got into something and didn't succeed. But guess what? It is the Death Star, and God forbid you have a couple TIE fighters crash or you lose a Star Cruiser or whatever. Amazon's fine. But we did see a pullback in Amazon yesterday. That's why this morning I bought 100 shares of Amazon at $32.13.50. Okay, so I put my money where my mouth is. I got about $320,000 worth of Amazon shares that I bought today and sold an upside call against it. So doing a covered call in here. I had 3,000 shares of Microsoft. I added 1,000 shares this morning at $217.74 and sold a covered call against those shares as well. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Remember, folks, no matter what happens tonight, and from what I'm understanding, they're going to keep counting votes until the mail-in ballots until Friday, or actually whenever Democrats win, they'll stop counting the ballots. Remember in Georgia, all right, everybody get out. There's a water leak. Well, there wasn't, and mysteriously all these votes were found. But whatever. Here's what I'm getting at. The market only cares when it cares. It cared yesterday. It's not going to care. Even if the Democrats win tonight, the market's it might have a knee-jerk reaction even lower, but we're going to get on our horse and gallop and forget about it. This time next week, we won't even remember the Georgia runoffs, okay? Now, if the Republicans win, I think we get a rip-your-face-off relief rally tomorrow, and that's why I added 1,000 shares of Apple and 1,000 shares of Microsoft and 100 shares of Amazon this morning. Remember, my acronym, when in doubt, run to MAA. Whenever there's kind of a question mark over what's going on, I run to MAA, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. Okay, I got to get going. I got to post the replay for the primary live trade brief, which is right here in the YouTube, onto the member page, and you can go watch the replay here. Okay? All right, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll see many of you tomorrow for our accelerated retirement brief at high noon. We'll see you.